My amp unit. An amplified bonus video, man. It's like 5 a.m. ish. Got a little bit of time before we jumpstart the day. So I figured I'd go over some news in the wrestling world with my amplified unit. We're going to start off the day. This is the first coffee of the day, mind you. So, it's an ice cold caramel Starbucks Frappuccino before we can hit up the local Dunkin' and get a nice large hot coffee. We're going to start with this son of a bitch. Salute to my unit. Kind of a lot to go over in a short amount of time, or at least a lot that I want to discuss. I'll talk a little bit about NXT TakeOver, Halloween Havoc. It's not even a takeover. Halloween Havoc. They took an old school WCW pay-per-view, which is near and dear to BC's heart, man. I loved Halloween Havoc back in the day. And they took that and they repackaged it just to get a ratings pop. And obviously when you do that, you're going to devalue it. But we'll discuss it a little bit, man. And I can't stand, I'll say, holiday-themed events, man. When the holidays come around for pro wrestling, I know we are going to get some cringeworthy shit. For Halloween, you're going to get jack-o'-lantern matches and pumpkins slammed over people's dome piece. Thanksgiving, you're going to have the fucking table set up with the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and the turkey legs, and somebody's going to be going through the fucking stuffing table. Christmas, you're going to have the Christmas tree and the presents up on the rampway, up on the stage, and you're going to have a Christmas street fight. And people will be getting packages slammed over their dome piece and getting slammed through the Christmas tree setup. It's the same shit every single year. And if somebody gets their rocks and giggles off, then they're going to keep doing it. So it's Halloween time again in WWE. And not just WWE, AEW even got in on the fun, man. And their number one contender for their heavyweight championship was dressed up as a giant marshmallow man from the 1980s. Ghostbusters! We're going to talk all about it, man. Not in great length, hopefully. Because again, PC can't stand holiday-themed wrestling shows. But we'll talk about Halloween Havoc a little bit in just a bit, and we'll also talk about AEW Dynamite from this past week. How's that? But a few topics beforehand, and one of them is my main topic of this bonus vid, and that's a former WWE commentator being the next in line, just the latest person to come forward and say, basically, I'll repackage this statement for you. Vince McMahon doesn't give a fuck about what he is producing to the masses. He doesn't give a fuck about you, me, or anybody that has backed him from day one, that has bought every damn t-shirt that company has produced, every pay-per-view, every piece of memorabilia or merchandise, every superstar that was pushed or wasn't and we got behind. Anything to do with that company, Vince McMahon over the past several years has just taken a shit on us all. And BC has said for years now he just stopped caring. Still, some people in the community don't realize that. BC's just the bad guy, I'm the negative guy, I'm the asshole, I'm the prick. All of that may be true. But what's more true than anything else is Vince McMahon has stopped caring. That's factual. That's not an opinion. And now his own employees, or former, are admitting that with no grudges at all, mind you. This isn't even superstars with superstar gripes. We're going to talk about the latest son of a bitch to come forward and tell us like it is, man. Vince McMahon doesn't care. And that's who he's hiring, people with no knowledge. And he doesn't even give a fuck if you don't have any knowledge. You, not just BC, you watching this right now, know more than the actual commentators, interviewers, and creative writers. That's not good, though. I'm not giving you a compliment. That's not good. We'll talk about all that, man. First and foremost, man, we got to do a 10 bell salute for something that has, unfortunately, it looks like anyway, man. It's on its, if it isn't completely gone, it's on its way out the fucking door. And tragically, that is ROH, a promotion that you guys know BC loves very dearly. In fact, I was teasing just recently about doing some more, or actually, I never really did them consistently anyway, so this would be the first time, but reviewing ROH shows. And I was teasing that lately. So this comes as just bummer news, man. ROH, they say they're taking a hiatus and they might be coming back second quarter of next year or in the next quarter, but not until at least April. But now more and more word is coming out that it doesn't look like they're coming back. They released just about everybody from their contract. If it doesn't expire by the end of 2022, it's not being picked up. So basically everybody is free to do whatever they want that is currently under contract by the end of the year. So it doesn't look good, man. So hopefully they can, the latest word we got is that if they do come back, they're going to be ran more as an independent company, more so than ever before. It just looks like the end of ROH. There's even rumor going around that within the next 72 hours, they could be selling their library, their video library, man. And that's everything. Eric Bischoff will tell you better than anybody that the library, man, is the first step of a dead company. Once you lose your library, that's everything that your company is. That's your whole history. Unless you're Vince McMahon, who doesn't give a fuck about his history. Again, we're going to go over that. This commentator who's speaking out literally said he don't give a fuck about his history. But if you're any other company, man, your history is your foundation. It's your core. It's what the fuck you are. Anyway, I can go all day on that topic, but ROH, man, it's a bummer. It's one of my favorite organizations. Some of my favorite wrestlers, literally, were still competing there. Man, still. Jay Lethal, one of my favorite dudes in this industry. One of my favorite tag teams, the Briscoe Brothers. And to think of ROH and everybody that has come through those doors, from the CM Punks to the Daniel Bryans, to the Lethals and the Briscoes, and so many that you think are going to be out of a job and now have to take bookings elsewhere. Just some of the best talent in the world, man. And you look at WWE and AEW, their rosters are too packed. I mean, how many of these individuals can you even bring in? It's just, man, it opens up Pandora's box, and I can't say it's in a positive way, but to ROH, man, if this is the end of ROH, much love and respect to everybody who has busted their asses and broken their backs, basically, and some literally, in that company, man. Thank you for everybody that ran that company the right way and never really sold out along the way. They never really veered when many said, man, you could go more mainstream if you do X, Y, and Z. For the most part, they always stayed true to who they were. So if they do come back in some other form or fashion, we know that it won't truly be the ROH that we remember. Easy for me to say. So, to the ROH, to everybody, because we know whether they come back or not, it ain't going to be the same, man. It's not going to be the ROH that we love. So, to the ROH that we did love, and to the ROH that is going away, at least for the foreseeable future, Much love and respect. A 10-bell salute, just in case, to the end of ROH. Much love. Thank you, ROH. I love that company almost as much as I love donuts. You guys know how much I love donuts. I can't resist the temptation. Thank you, ROH. All right, before we move on to my main story, a story that just frustrates the fuck out of me, which is Vince McMahon not giving a fuck, and another person coming forward who was behind the scenes, one of his lead fucking commentator, and he's got no gripe at all, and he's coming forward now and telling it exactly like it is, man, just like so many before him. Vince doesn't give a fuck. But before we get to that, man, Windham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt, he has changed his social handle, his Twitter, I believe, away from WWE Bray Wyatt. I think it's just Windham 6 now, is what I believe I saw. And I believe his other social media was always Windham Rotunda, if I can remember. I don't do a bunch with social, but I believe that's the case. So anyway, we know that his last post under the WWE Bray Wyatt handle was 2 days. It was just 2 days. That's all he put. Just 2 days left. And obviously we know that's the end of his contract with WWE. Now his official handle, or his handle has officially changed. And today is the day, man, where he's free in the next 24 hours. Bray Wyatt is a free man, and we're hearing there's word going around that he's taking inquiries from Hollywood. So he's looking to do some acting, and dude, that's his wheelhouse. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine Windham Rotunda in a movie? You'd be captivated from minute 1 to the final fucking minute of the movie. You'd still be in your seat when the screen goes black. Because that's how fucking captivating Windham Rotunda is. Shit, you put Malachi Black and Windham Rotunda in a movie, I'm captivated. Phone's going off, putting down the fucking shades. Nobody's fucking bothered, but that's it. I'm watching that hour and a half, 2.5, 3 hour fucking movie, however long it is. You need people that are going to captivate you. So yeah, anyway, that's a little side spiel there. If Windham Rotunda wants to act, I don't know any fucking producer or director that would not want that son of a bitch in a lead role. If you're gonna fucking parade John Cena out there. Now at least Cena's gotten much better. But you can tell me Windham Rotunda shouldn't be up in there. I'm not saying he's got to be the lead face, if you will, the hero character. But he can sure as hell be that fucking villain. So anyway, we're hearing that that's some of the inquiries that Windham Rotunda is taking. It ain't just wrestling, but I can't wait to see what he does next in the ring. It's no secret. I don't hold anything back when it comes to who my favorite wrestler in the world is. I love Jay Lethal, as I just said, one of my favorite dudes in the business. But when you talk about the top of the echelon, man, it is Windham Rotunda, formerly known as Bray Wyatt. The dude just captivates me. Everything he does, from his promos, his mannerisms, the looks, and his wrestling. You know, and for anybody that says, well, he gets stale in the ring, man, he gets boring in the ring. Well, I could easily say that your suicide dives and your moonsaults and your flips and your hurricanranas 97 times in a match, I could say that that bores the shit out of me. But to each their own. Anyway, Windham Rotunda, man, he is a free man within the next 24 hours. Does he go to AEW? Do they even have room for the son of a bitch? It's going to be interesting, man, especially for BC. You guys know from day one, he's my favorite dude. And, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he does next. I'm so excited for him, man. Once you get the shackles off from the WWE prison, you really realize that, damn, there's a whole world out there, man. You know? Nemo may have gotten away from his family, but Nemo realized there's a whole fucking wondrous sea out there, man. So much love and respect to Windham Rotunda. Had to talk about that as well. And if I have time, man, I'll talk about some other topics in the industry as well in a little bit later. I also want to touch up on Dynamite from this week and Halloween Havoc. But I want to jump in. Enough time has passed. We shot the shit with a few subjects already. ROH, Windham Rotunda. By the way, my Green Bay Packers, bro. What a fucking victory last night. Did anybody catch that game? Thursday Night Football against the number 1 seeded Cardinals. Number 1 in the NFL, 7-0. The only undefeated team in the NFL. And my Packers came in at 6-1. We lost our first game. We got our asses fucking handed to us by the New Orleans Saints. And then the next 6 games, we just hauled ass. And we won 6 in a row. And nobody gave us a chance, especially with our star wide receiver, a couple of our receivers, and our tight end gone. We had linemen out, our defensive fucking coach out. Our team was depleted against the number 1 football team in the NFL, and we beat them last night, man. What a fucking pick at the very end seconds. We got an interception in the end zone to win that game, man. It was not Aaron Rodgers' best performance, not even close. I think I had about fucking aneurysms, fucking heart attack, you name it, man. Probably all happened within one football game. I went through 17 brick walls, shouted to the fucking near states could hear me. The whole tri-state was probably like, what the fuck is BC screaming about? Because I just screamed for 3 hours. Maybe halftime I took a fucking moment to have another coffee. But that was one of those games where you didn't sit down, you didn't stop fucking yelling at the TV. I was flipping out the entire time, and it was a fucking, I don't know why we make things harder than they have to be, but we do. It's just our character, but in the end, we always come out on top, man, or at least 7 out of 8 times. We are now the top seed in the NFC. Fuck yeah, bro. So congrats to my Packers. Salute. And you know what's cool, man, is that one more thing. Come on, man. It's my fucking show. I can talk about it. The dude that intercepted that last pass in the end zone, okay, Douglas, he was actually on the Cardinals 22 days ago. They put him on the fucking street squad, the practice squad, and the Packers just picked him up. So they saw this kid Douglas and they're like, hey, this kid's got something, man. We need him. We're depleted. It's fucking beggars can't be choosers. And who would have thought that same dude that was on their team 22 days ago would end up fucking being the final sword in the sternum. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. Adnan Virk, the former WWE commentator for Vince McMahon's WWE. He's the latest to come out and absolutely validate every single one of BC's words about Vince McMahon. When BC says time and time again that Vince McMahon just doesn't give a fuck, he just stopped caring. It's the truth. It's not even shade to Vince. I'm the one who called him a genius all through the 80s and into the 90s because the guy was a bona fide genius. Every step he took, every move he made, flawless, near perfection. And when he was getting his ass kicked by Nitro and Eric Bischoff and Ted Turner and WCW, he didn't flinch. They knew they were steps away, stone's throw away from going out of business, but he didn't flinch. He opened up his horizons. He started taking even more ideas from Vince Russo and Shawn Michaels and so many others, and they became the Attitude Era. And they ended up whooping Eric Bischoff, Ted Turner, WCW's ass. Seemed like everything Vince did, it was a genius move. And then once he started raking in all that fucking money and he went fucking public, right? Corporate as corporate can be. He went publicly traded company. You got the shareholders and the money's really pouring in and you're getting the tens of millions from other countries and you're getting the $1 billion from networks and the TV right money is flowing in, man. And you're getting older. Vince started resting on those laurels until he realized, I can do this until I'm gone from this planet. I can literally sit on my bank account and watch it grow for the rest of my lifetime. And he's pretty right. Or at least the next 5 years. WWE's revenue could be damn solid, going in the right trajectory. But after that 5-year period, in fact, I give it 2 years at the rate that they're going. But at best for Vince, he might have 5 years to liquidate every penny from his fan base for his company. But after that, they're building no future. There's no superstars being built that are larger than life. There's certainly no storylines, feuds, culminating moments that are getting anybody excited for anything to do with the future. He's literally sitting on the past. And eventually, that sand, that hourglass, it's going to drizzle down to nothing. There won't be anything left in that hourglass. The sand will all be at the bottom. But he doesn't care. That's the problem, right? That's the biggest issue in all this, right? We know what the deal is here. We know what they have to do to build a brighter future and get fans interested, excited, and invested again. We know that. The biggest issue here, the problem, is that Vince doesn't give a fuck. You see that with who he hires. He doesn't even like the word wrestling. So if you are a wrestling fan, that's probably not even gonna land you a job in WWE. He probably hates the fact that he has to hire professional wrestlers to be professional wrestlers. It's just the fucking truth. Again, that's not even shade. I've just studied this dude for decades. You guys remember Kenice? What was her name? Kenice Mobley was her name. She was hired just 4 months ago as a WWE writer. I can't even say, this is not even shade to Kenice, by the way. Not even shade. Who could blame her? You're a comedian in, I believe, New York City, I think it was. Wherever the fuck. Comedians, they travel all around the fucking world trying to own their craft, get better and better, knowing they probably won't reach Chappelle level. But you're traveling, man, and it's a struggling gig career. And all of a sudden, WWE comes and says, hey, man, if you want to, we got this position where you can write for WWE and 90% of our shit is fucking comedy anyway, right? We don't take anything seriously in this company. You're a comedian, come on in. But I don't have any knowledge of pro wrestling. It doesn't matter, Kenice. Come on in, man. We just need to fill spots. And the fact that you know nothing about pro wrestling is even better. You guys remember Kenice Mobley, man? She literally, this is while she was with the company. Kenice said, and I quote, I was surprised I got the job. It was a surprise for me. They didn't even require me to know anything about wrestling. I'm going to say that again because this is a quote. They didn't even require me to know anything about wrestling. It's not even a prerequisite. Now, you're going to be a writer for the biggest professional wrestling company known to man, and you don't even need to know about professional wrestling. She went on in that same interview podcast to say that their champion is I think his name is Bobby Ashley. Ashley. Not Bobby Lashley. And she admitted she doesn't even know the name and giggled. Now, even if you're just trying to be cute, right? You know the name, but you're trying to crack a joke. You're a comedian. The fact that she didn't even think about the actual champion, she didn't think about Bobby Lashley and how he would feel about her just bashing him. I don't know the champion's. I think his name's Bobby Ashley. And Lashley's a good dude in real life. I felt so bad, and I made a video on it. I felt so bad for Bobby Lashley. And she went on to actually make fun of the Hurt Business name. She said, yeah, he's in a group called the Hurt Business, and they all started laughing. This is who's writing Bobby Ashley's shit in the Hurt Business. It's a joke to the fucking writers who have no even knowledge about who the fuck died in that ring, passed away in that fucking ring, got paralyzed in that ring, have broken bones in that ring, walked to the ring and couldn't walk back. The blood, the sweat, the fucking tears. No, it's a giggly joke, and I don't need to know anything about it because I'm better than it. It's not even shade to Kanice. The fact that Vince actually wants people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, talking about, or even their knowledge of what they're working on, writing about, talking about. Yeah, talking about. Because Adnan Virk is the latest one to come out and say, I didn't know jack shit when I got this job. Adnan Virk. And again, it's not even shade to the dude. How can you fucking blame anybody who's going to take a giant fucking paycheck and they don't even require you to know anything about it? I love coffee. If Starbucks literally gave me a fat fucking check every week, $5,000 every fucking week, and I just gotta I don't even gotta make the fucking coffee. I don't have to know how to make the coffee. I can literally do whatever the fuck I want. I can have artistic freedoms. A latte can become a frappuccino, and a fucking a mocha could become a fucking vanilla frap. A cappuccino becomes a frappuccino. A cappuccino becomes a frap becomes a mocha. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna fill the fucking position. The fact that you don't know about coffee and you don't know how to make the fucking coffee, I should say, doesn't fucking matter. Well, I know a lot about coffee. I don't know how to fucking make it, but I don't have to. I just gotta show up. Fill the fucking spot. Adnan Virk says this. You get offered this opportunity to audition for it. And I'm like, why not? Of course. I'd love to do this. So they sent me a few matches to look at. And I would describe it kind of like an actor. You're getting a few scenes from A Streetcar Named Desiree. I guess that's a movie. So I studied really hard, and I nailed those 3 scenes. Matches is what he means. So he studied those 3 scenes, but then you have to do the whole play on Broadway. That is, of course, a much different thing than doing a scene study for 3 scenes. Now you have to be Stanley Kolaski for an entire run every week. I don't even know what he's talking. He's taking professional wrestling and he's comparing it or calling professional wrestling to scene study. The biggest challenge for me was that it's hard to be really well versed in the sport when you're trying to catch a freight train that's already going 100 miles per hour. That again is Vince McMahon. This is what he just throws this dude into the fucking wolves. In fact, Adnan Virk actually said about Vince McMahon, I didn't see him my first show. He says, here's the other thing. They didn't give me any training. Which I know some people would point out as a little bit unfair. I don't think you would hire Jason Witten on Monday Night Football and not give him any training, but I recognize that's the way WWE does things. He literally says, I realized. In other words, from the jump, he realized that's how WWE does things. They don't train anybody. They don't give a fuck what you know. So he says, no excuses. it's my fault, basically, that he wasn't good enough. He actually says it's my fault that I wasn't good enough. But it's not like I met with Vince before my first show. I was just kind of prepping on my own, doing my best, and Michael Cole was helping me out. The first time I met Vince, my first show on April 12th, I did not meet Vince there. I heard his voice at one point, giving direction. I met him after the second show, and he summoned me into his office. He was polite and respectful and gave me feedback. I mean, if this does not sound so fucking just unacceptable to you, that this company is in the shitter and people are starving for it. Doesn't have to be somebody like Jim Ross from the Attitude Era or Gorilla Monsoon from beforehand in the 80s. We're just asking that somebody come along with the passion, the excitement, and the knowledge that makes us feel like we're not fucking goldfish with goldfish brains circling the fish tank. Give us some credit. We should not be smarter about the product, the business, the company than the actual lead commentator. We shouldn't be. We are. We are currently with Jimmy Smith, and that's not even shade to Jimmy Smith. But right now, BC and most of you are smarter about WWE than Jimmy Smith. It's a sad truth. This is what really just frustrates BC. Listen to this. This is a quote from Adnan Virk, and this just cements, validates everything I've said about Vince McMahon, about him not caring. Adnan Virk says this: "The one thing that helped is, unlike baseball or other sports, you don't have to say, 'Remember 3 years ago at WrestleMania when this happened.' Actually, you never do that, which is very different from normal sports. You're only looking, when I was broadcasting on Raw, at what happened the previous week or 2 weeks. That's it. So in that instance, you don't really need to know the history of wrestling. But as a play-by-play guy, you've got to know the moves. You've got to know the mechanics. And I think, in all honesty, I kind of struggled to adapt to that. In all honesty, I wasn't good enough for that position." Well, we all knew that from moment one, Adnan. It wasn't even shade. BC was saying it from moment one, my very first review. I told you guys, this isn't one of those things where, he just has to get the hang of it. Or, he'll get better, it's just his first week, relax. No, when you're a commentator, you know from the beginning, you know from the jump, if he at least has it, right? It's that it factor. You know, he's going to get better in some areas, in some stuttering here will digress, and he'll feel more comfortable, right? That goes in time. But from the jump, you at least know somebody has that it factor. Adnan Virk, man, I mean, even when he spoke up, you could not hear him. You knew from the jump he had no fucking knowledge of the product. You knew it was just bad, man. It was really bad, and they knew it from day one, and they kept trying. They hoped that he would get better. But BC told you it was not one of those situations. But even beyond that, man, even beyond him realizing that he just sucked at the job, for him to say, and again, this isn't shade to him, this is Vince McMahon, and this is why I say everything rests on his shoulders. He literally said, "It's very different from other sports where you're only looking at the previous week or two." That's a quote. They only need you to remember the last week or two. And even then, it doesn't matter. You're still getting the same rematches from last week. The same roll-up finishes. It's all the same. But the fact that Vince has them, make sure that they don't need to know anything that happened months ago. And Adnan Virk, in this very same interview podcast, actually said, "I watched as a kid and I stopped watching as I got older." So he admits that he stopped watching, got the job, and didn't know his fucking history. Did not know what happened the last 20 plus fucking years. That's a fucking problem. When you're watching Edge, or people at that point, was The Undertaker even still fucking, no, I think The Undertaker might have been done. When you're watching fucking Edge, Roman Reigns from 5 years ago, shit. You can add Roman Reigns, Seth, you can add the newer guys, newer-ish, compared to the Edges anyway. Throw in fucking Rollins, throw in Roman Reigns, throw in Sasha Banks, throw in Charlotte Flair. When you don't know what they did 5 years ago, 4, 3, 2, last year, 4 months ago, but the audience does, you're fucked, bro. And I don't mean Adnan, I mean that company is fucked if that's who they're hiring. He said it helped. It helped. He's admitting he didn't know anything. He didn't know his history. So it helped that you didn't have to know more than 1 or 2 weeks previous. You didn't have to know what happened even last month. His quote in that instance, when you were on commentary, these exact words, you don't really need to know the history of wrestling. And this is your lead commentator for Monday Night Raw. Flagship show for the biggest company, especially here in the US anyway, WWE. And you don't need to know the history of wrestling. This was the lead play-by-play guy just a couple months ago. This isn't just BC fucking spewing negativity, right? Oh, this is BC, man. He's just bashing WWE. No, this is another person. Kenice Mobley wasn't enough for you? The person who's writing, doesn't matter, Vince rips it all up anyway, but the person who's writing initially doesn't even know the wrestlers' names or anything about wrestling. But that's who's writing the product. And the person who's commentating, who's broadcasting the product, doesn't know anything about wrestling. Even admits that all he had to learn was like the moves and stuff, and he admits he even struggled at that. So the one thing he had to know, the moves, he couldn't even do that. So the person writing it doesn't know anything about pro wrestling, obviously doesn't care about pro wrestling. The person talking about it on TV doesn't know anything or care about pro wrestling. And the person who runs the company clearly doesn't care about pro wrestling. And that, my friends, is why WWE is sinking further and further and losing more and more by the fucking droves by the show. It's not people like BC on the interweb machine. Because we're talking bad about it, we're bringing down the excitement. No, they brought down the excitement. We're just exposing the shit. How the fuck are you gonna honestly hire people that don't know anything about the product they're going to talk about on national TV for 3 hours every week? And it's not even a problem. That's the scary part in all this, man. They don't blink an eye in that company. To Vince, it's normal business. The fact that he didn't know his history is much better. That's a good fucking thing. Let's hire the guy who knows nothing about pro wrestling. Let's hire the guy that I've never fucking even met to see if he's good at the job. And you're telling me that Vince cares today? He doesn't give a fuck. He hates the word wrestling. I do these videos and I scream and I yell and I rant, and then at 5 a.m. I'm shooting the shit with my amp unit because I truly want to see this shit get better. I really do. Unfortunately, man, it ain't gonna happen under this dude. And that's why you can blame, I say this all the time, you can blame Bruce Pritchard and Kevin Dunn and John Laurinaitis and everybody, the 617 writers, Kenice Mobley, you could blame fucking Adnan Burke and the people that won't be there in a month like Jimmy Smith. At least Jimmy Smith has a little bit better of a fucking broadcasting voice, man. Nowhere near what we need on Monday Night Raw. But you can blame everybody in that company until you blame the one son of a bitch that's causing all of this, as Ric Flair would say. Nothing's going to change, man. You could fire Bruce Pritchard, Kevin Dunn, John Laurinaitis, everybody. You can fire them all today. And the product, that company, the shows will still suck beyond measurable comparisons because Vince McMahon is at the helm. This type of shit frustrates me to no end. And I know, because BC has told you from time and time, every fucking video, that Vince doesn't care anymore. But when I see shit like this that validates it and confirms it, I should say, I don't give myself a pat on the fucking back. It angers me more, actually. It just angers me more because if somebody like BC with his little YouTube show, his podcast, can see this from a mile away, years ago, then how the fuck has it not been changed yet? Because nobody will stand up to the motherfucker. You can't have the associates do it, the yes men. It's got to be somebody like Stephanie McMahon or Triple H, but they're laughing with Vince all the way to the fucking bank while everybody says, oh, poor Triple H because Vince took over NXT. There's no poor Triple H. He was in every one of those meetings. He gave up Karrion Kross on a silver fucking platter. And Keith Lee and so many others. He watched as creations like Aleister Black had to fucking get the boot from the company. Good for him, became Malachi, and he's 10 times better off. Triple H watched on as his precious NXT became a Cartoon Network parody. And they all laughed to the bank together. And this is who Vince McMahon hires. People that don't know what they're talking about, literally. Not just a fancy little thing that we say in the videos, right? Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. No. The actual talent, the actual employees, they're telling you this is how it is. They're admitting they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know their history. They don't know about wrestling. They're telling you this. But BC's the bad guy. That's fine. When it ain't game day, I wear the black hat just beautifully and with no fucking problems whatsoever. I'll be that fucking asshole. But I'll be one fucking truthful prick. I'll be an honest asshole. I'll move on because that will frustrate the shit out of me throughout the fucking day if I keep harping on it. But just wanted to give you guys a little bit of another confirmation from the employee himself, Mr. Adnan Virk, admitting that Vince McMahon don't give a fuck about what you know about wrestling. Great. Good to know the company's in good hands, man. At its time of need and desperation, its time of need the most. It needs the most fucking attention. It needs the most care. It's on life support, and it's good to know that these are the people being hired. Good shit. Halloween Havoc. Let's talk that before we end this little bonus vid, man. This could go over an hour long, actually. Damn. It was only supposed to be a half an hour, believe it or not, man. It really was. That did happen. Halloween Havoc, what do you say? What do you say about this, man? You guys know if you watch this channel religiously that I don't like holiday-themed wrestling shows. I feel, especially if we can just zone in on WWE, for instance, they go overboard. And the whole thing just becomes... It becomes a fucking Nickelodeon production. And NXT, Halloween Havoc, that was no exception. And you say, well, BC, it's fun, man. And it was fun. And I enjoyed it for what it was. That's great, man. Nobody's coming on here and telling you not to enjoy something or you're stupid because you enjoyed it. No, man. In fact, they popped the fucking rating at almost 750 Gs, didn't they? So that's for anybody that goes, oh man, the playoffs are on. There's nothing you can do. You got to take a ratings loss. Bullshit. They went up a couple hundred fucking thousand, man. So people wanted to see what this spin the wheel thing was going to do. They wanted to see if Halloween Havoc was going to live up to WCW proportions, right? So that's what I say, man. Don't blame fucking playoffs for shit, because if you're doing something that people are going to be even semi-interested in, they're going to watch your shit. So they popped a rating. I think a 750 for what they've been pulling in, man. That's a fucking huge score for USA Network's NXT 2.0. For BC, man, I didn't care for it. It was way too much hocus pocus, hokey pokey type of shindiggery. That's right. I'm making up words. Why not? We're talking about NXT 2.0. I mean, when I think, no notes here. There's no notes. I was never going to review this from top to bottom anyway. But when I think about it, I'm thinking about fucking lumberjack matches or whatever it was called. Right? Spin the wheel and it lands on a fucking, or a lumberjack. What the fuck am I talking? Jack-o'-lantern. Lumberjack-o'-lantern match. I don't even know. It's so fucking silly. I want to put my own dome piece through the fucking brick wall. Jack-o'-lantern lumberjack match, whatever the fuck it was actually called. MSK, Imperium, they don't need anybody. They don't need 20 people dressed in Halloween costumes to fucking ruin what good match they got rocking. But no, we gotta jazz it up with 20 dudes all dressed up because it's Halloween. And then you have the Gargano and Dexter Lumis shit, man. The cinematic haunted house, Dexter Lumis's haunted house. And bro, it could have been okay if it wasn't done so cheesy. But I mean, when you keep going back to it, it just becomes a fucking Hollywood production. At that point, just hire Windham Rotunda and just make another movie. Make another fucking horror movie. But don't put that shit on our screens. If you got a laugh from it, awesome. I like Dexter Lumis. I really like Gargano. Everybody played their part pretty fucking good in it. It's just too cheesy. It just takes me out of the realm of believing any of this shit. At least when Papo Shango back in the day was casting voodoo spells, man, I believed this motherfucker was doing that shit. It was believable. Believing that these people are in this fucking haunted house with 7 cameras, bright cameras in their fucking face. And they had no direction for it at the very fucking end. I think Dexter and Johnny Gargano just throw a fucking right hand and then watch everybody run away. And Johnny looks at Dexter and says, oh, your house is weird. It was just, no, the whole fucking 9 segments were weird. And I love Halloween, man. You're talking to a dude who loves to go to fucking horror nights every Halloween season down in Orlando, Florida, Universal Studios, and catch all 10 haunted houses at the studios. I love that shit. Problem, or the fucking difference is, they're not cheesy down there, man. If it's a WWE fucking production, oh, you can definitely bet it's gonna be a cheesy fucking shitfest. Anyway, I don't know, man. That just, they went to it way too many times and it got cheesier and cheesier as it went on. And then you got spin the wheel, make the fucking deal on Mandy Rose and Raquel Gonzalez for their championship match. Now, as somebody who loved WCW back in the day, Halloween Havoc, that was one of my favorite pay-per-views. I told you in a recent vid, I think it was my last live stream, I said that Halloween Havoc is a shell of what it once was. This is not Halloween Havoc that we once loved. This is WWE putting their fucking ratings pop twist on it. We're going to fucking shine it up, or we're going to dust it off. I don't even think they shined it up. They dusted off Halloween Havoc in their trademark copyright fucking closet, right? They got that name still, and they dusted it off, and they fucking tried to get a ratings pop out of it. And I think they succeeded with that 750-ish. But good job, because you devalued Halloween Havoc in the process. You pimped it out, basically, the name. It should have been a pay-per-view. And when you do the spin the wheel, make the deal, It should be something big, man. They had Chucky, little Chucky doll spinning the wheel. I understand it's cross promotion, USA Network. It's Halloween Havoc. I think Chucky makes perfect sense to have him as a part of the show. Not fucking spinning the wheel and having a Chucky's Choice. The wheel lands on Chucky's Choice. Now, it's going to be cool if Chucky's Choice is something badass. You know what it was, guys? It was a Falls Count Anywhere, no DQ, no count-out match. A stipulation we see all the fucking time. And they called it Chucky's Choice. This is what I mean. You have a fucking ladder match for the women's championships, a triple threat, first of all, so it's a schmaz. And they call it a way to hell ladder match. So forget the fact that it's a schmaz anyway. Now we gotta put a fucking gimmick name to it. Drain it down some more. It's a ladder match. Didn't we just see a ladder match on Monday Night Raw? The fucking main event, Fatal 4. So it's another schmaz ladder match. One night later, we see another ladder match. And I told you guys on the Raw review, I mean, these ladder matches, there's so many that it's been devalued. That's the new theme. Vince McMahon is willing to pimp out names. WrestleMania, Raw, WrestleMania Smackdown, WrestleMania Backlash. He'll pimp out the name. Money in the Bank, he'll do a fucking Money in the Bank on a random fucking Smackdown show. He doesn't give a shit. Hell in a Cell, we just saw one in Saudi Arabia. And our last Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, there was a Hell in a Cell before the pay-per-view on SmackDown, and then there was a Hell in a Cell the night after the pay-per-view, pimping out the Hell in a Cell name. Ladder matches work if it's once in a blue moon. So when you declare something is a ladder match, people are like, oh shit, it's gonna be good. When you have multiple ladder matches every week, 2 within 24 hours, for instance, bruh, it doesn't work. You're gonna devalue it, and you're just ruining the future of that match gimmick. That's what's happening. Ladder matches are nowhere near what they used to feel like. Especially when you're seeing the same type of spots. By the way, Io Shirai, much love and respect for the bump that Io took off the top of the ladder. That thing was coming down. She was at the top and she fucking flung back first into a ladder that was set up on the outside, man. That looked like a scary motherfucking bump. And afterwards, I love what Io put up on social afterwards. I saw this thing by Io because everybody was worried about her. And she basically said, but did you die? She's like, I'm not dead. Relax. Fucking Io. I love Io Shirai, man. So, I don't know, man. The ladder match gimmick and then the stupid Scareway to Hell fucking name that it was given. The spin the wheel, make the deal, Chucky's Choice, when it was just a normal no DQ Falls Count Anywhere match. The weird thing with Loomis and Gargano, and again, if you had a giggle and you had fun, then awesome. But when wrestling is at its fucking worst, man, and we need shit that's going to captivate. Serious shit that's going to be a cliffhanger. Like, if you're gonna do all this little goofy shit, okay, at the very end, give me a cliffhanger that's serious, though, that's gonna get us to next week. Not wanting to tune in to NXT next week, but needing to. They didn't do that, man. They had Tommaso and Braun fucking break with multiple fucking Ks. And that was that. Half the fucking audience didn't even think Braun Breaker should even be there. That's in the eye of the beholder. I'm not even going to get into that discussion. I didn't think the match was horrible. It got panned a little more than I thought it should, man. A lot of people didn't think it was any good. I didn't think it was bad, per se, but I also didn't think it was good. It was definitely not a main event for a fucking pay-per-view themed event like Halloween Havoc. But at the end, okay, so Tommaso retains. I think that's the right call. And then nothing really, man. Nothing of big, epic fucking... Nothing that's going to make you say, I need to tune in next week, man. That's what these shows need more than anything. Stories that captivate and make you tune in. Hell in a Cell, or for Hell in a Cell, Halloween Havoc, might as well be Hell in a Cell has been devalued to nothing, and Halloween Havoc has been devalued to nothing. Spin the wheel, make the deal, produce no epicness. Anyway, if you giggled, if you had fun during that show, that is awesome. I totally mean that, man. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of that. Oh, everyone relax. It's meant to be fun. And the people that panned it, the people that just fucking couldn't stand any of it, but then when AEW 24 hours later did some schmazzery, goofy Halloween shit, and you praise that, you gotta call that out too, man. Okay, you can have some fun, right? But the elite Ghostbusters come down, and then you have your number one contender for the heavyweight championship, Omega's championship, Hangman Page, dressed up like the 1980s Ghostbusters fucking Marshmallow Man. And he's there the whole time, and he gets in the ring, and he takes his marshmallow head off, and he gets the huge pop. The crowd wants to see Hangman Page. The crowd wants to see Hangman Page in his culminating story, right? Win the championship from Omega. So yeah, a heavy favorite. He's going to get the pop. I'm sure he would have gotten an awesome pop if he wasn't dressed up as a Marshmallow Man. But again, if you laughed at it, if you had that goofy, it's all fun moment, everyone needs to relax, it's all fun. And if you had that moment, then good for you. I do not want to think about I bash WWE for it, and I'm going to do the same for AEW. The difference is when AEW does shit that WWE usually does, Tony Khan finds a way to do it better at least, so it lessens the blow, it softens the blow. Right, WWE does this shit all the time, at least AEW doesn't. But AEW does their fair share of WWE stupid shit. Bringing in Shaquille O'Neal for cross-promotion, man. That's the shit we couldn't stand with WWE. Snoop Dogg getting on the top rope and doing a fucking crossbody. Snoop Dogg. Big Show being signed by AEW when we said for years we don't want the Big Show even in WWE. AEW, your alternative, now has Big Show. And then we were promised he wasn't going to wrestle. He's just going to broadcast. And I told you guys from the jump, he'll be wrestling within a couple of months. What happened? The last fucking pay-per-view, I think it was, wasn't it? Or within the last two, he was fucking wrestling. What was it, QT? I forgot who he was. I think it was QT Marshall. He was fucking wrestling on a pay-per-view. Big Show. They do their WWE shit, trust me. I remember Cody was down to his fucking boxers doing a weigh-in. Even he admitted on his fucking reality show it was the worst segment ever. MJF and Chris Jericho doing a fucking Broadway musical. At least it was Jericho and MJF, and somehow they pulled it off. I say somehow, because they're so fucking good at what they do. But I mean, you can't say that wouldn't be WWE-ish shit. And last night, or fucking Wednesday night, man. We got the fucking Ghostbusters out there, and then here comes fucking Marshmallow Man, a 400-pound Marshmallow Man. Takes off his fucking, there's Hangman, and now I have that visual of a cowboy badass who for the last 3 minutes of the show could not get the costume off of his feet. Watch the last 3 minutes. The fucking whole marshmallow costume is trapped on it. He can't get it off. So he's fucking wiggling around trying to drink a beer. And I'm an equal opportunity fucking basher on this subject. Because I couldn't stand when Stone Cold Steve Austin was dressed as Santa Claus. But I get it. It's fun. I personally feel that they have dropped the ball on Omega and Hangman. I think it could have been produced a hell of a lot fucking better. You say long-term storytelling. Not really. They were a tag team for the very first fucking year, basically, of AEW's existence. They never really had the falling out. They just kind of went their separate ways, let's be honest. And then a long time after, they just kind of start feuding again. And you can't tell me anything in the feud has been epic. You just can't. I know this because factually I went over it all. You can like it, but don't try to sell somebody like BC that it's epic. We like Hangman and we want to see his culminating moment. That may be epic to you. But the storyline fell on its face. And seeing him dressed as the fucking Marshmallow Man because we want to have some fun on Halloween, that's not going to change BC's theory on it. It's not. If you have a different opinion on it, that's great. Hold it to yourself. You ain't even got to write it in the comments because I wouldn't care. I know what I'm viewing. I know what wrestling needs to fucking switch to. We have to get a little bit more serious, bro. You say, oh, it's okay to have a little bit of fun. It's Halloween. Bro, this is all they do. Comedy, comedy, comedy. Again, WWE way more than AEW. I can't put them in the same league. And if AEW wants to do some Halloween shit and dress people up, whatever, bro. Do your thing. Have that fun. But did Hangman have to be a Marshmallow Man? Because now people like me, I'm not going to be able to get that out of me. Like, that's the visual. Him fucking waddling around in the marshmallow costume in the last 3 minutes while he tries to drink a beer. Fucking marshmallow wrapped on his feet. That's the badass page. Anyway, can you tell I just can't stand fucking holiday themed wrestling events? Because they always do goofy shit. For fun. CM Punk, by the way, started the night off with, and that was an 8-man schmaz too. Forget the Halloween costumes. I can't stand the fact that AEW did another fucking 8-man schmaz main event. I mean, this company is just off the wheels with the multi-man schmaz matches. They're soon gonna put WWE fucking to shame. AEW popped a 950 thou rating, by the way. Drastically up from their Saturday night shows, which are in the 500,000s. So that's actually got to be looked at as pretty good. And by the way, again, with the playoffs, everyone's going to say, oh, playoffs. What the fuck about the playoffs? They still pulled 950. I thought they were going to pull 850 because of playoffs. And I still wasn't going to use that as an excuse. But I didn't think it was a well enough booked show to pull close to 1 million. But again, they pulled it, man. I don't know. This notion that sports or presidential, and it's an automatic L for other shows, it's bullshit. If you're producing captivating television, people are going to watch. Now, yeah, of course, everyone's going to say, oh, they couldn't even pull 1 million back in their time slot. They were just on Saturday night a couple weeks. Relax. But yeah, I didn't think they were going to pull 1 million. I didn't think that show was worthy of 1 million. And sure enough, they didn't get 1 million. The 950, I'm sure Tony will take that and run with that shit. But no, they were never going to pull 1 million with that type of a show. CM Punk, by the way, again, started the night off taking on Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish, this isn't even shade, man. AEW's roster is so filled up right now that hiring Bobby Fish makes zero fucking sense. We talk all the time about how AEW's roster is over 105 wrestlers. That's a real number. That's not just me thinking. 105 wrestlers are on that roster. And we're talking about Buddy possibly coming in and maybe Windham Rotunda in the future. And people are talking about Kevin Owens. And where are you putting all these people? And now they just hire Bobby Fish. And for what, by the way? Fish, first match, really, he fucking loses. Or Dynamite, anyway. Punk, he's already taken the L. What the fuck is Bobby Fish gonna do on that roster? It's not even shade. I don't even mind Bobby Fish. But what the fuck is this? Is he supposed to be moving the fucking needle somewhere? He's in there with Punk, and you gotta be careful with Punk too, man. Punk is starting to really look a lot... What a difference a fucking month makes. CM Punk is looking a lot less intriguing by the fucking week because he's just being overused. When he's not wrestling, he's on commentary. And that's okay if you're going to overuse somebody in the right way, like if you're putting in some captivating shit. I didn't mind his feud with Team Taz, for instance, but I mean, this is looking weaker and weaker, man. CM Punk having these longer matches with people that are not a lot of wrestling fans, casual fans for sure, don't know about. I just don't know what they're doing with Bryan Danielson seems more prevalent and relevant than CM Punk these days. And they debuted around the same fucking time. Bryan Danielson seems a lot more, I mean, they don't even use him that often, so he seems more special. If you're being truthful, even if you're an AEW diehard, you know, man, CM Punk, Phil Brooks, is seeming a lot more like a common wrestler these days. A regular wrestler. I shouldn't be shocked. The rating is right back to where it was before CM Punk debuted. I talked a lot in recent weeks, especially, how Tony Khan seems to be making every right move imaginable. Tony Khan is no longer doing that. He's got to be careful. What I did like from Dynamite, man, there was a few things, but one especially, man, Shida and Deeb. Something about their chemistry. I said that if you guys saw my review when they first met in the ring and Shida was supposed to get her 50th victory plaque and all that, and Serena Deeb totally ruined that party. I told you guys how just fucking ecstatic I was with that whole performance. The way it was done, the way Tony Khan did things, the way that Deeb and Shida put on the performance match and post-match. I just loved it, and this was just a continuation of that. They got that chemistry. So once in a while in pro wrestling, two people will come together. Sometimes it's tag teams, but we'll just stick with two people come together, and it's just magic. They just you could have them face each other 27 times. It's just magic. Not saying we need to do that, because then it just becomes regurgitated rematch bullshit. But if you can keep a story interesting, and they can keep being innovative, it just works. And Deeb and Shida, man, much props to them. But as far as talking anymore about those shows, I don't even want to. I'm glad. I love Halloween. I really do. I love having fun around Halloween. I can't stand holiday-themed wrestling shows, and this week just is too much. It was too much fucking zombies, and I love Walking Dead. Trust me, I love that show. But when it comes to pro wrestling, too many fucking zombies, too many stupid costume gimmick matches. I saw too many Ghostbusters and marshmallows, and more than I need to. Sorry, not sorry if I'm not as fun as a lot of you guys, but I can't wait till we can we just get serious again? Can we get some cliffhangers? Can we get fucking storylines that I'm so invested into? Because I don't have any of that in pro wrestling right now. And even if we did, we have fucking commentators that can't fucking call the action in an exciting way. Jimmy Smith isn't going to get us fucking festive for the night. I can't stand how Monday Night Raw starts every fucking week. You remember how Jim Ross used to fucking start Raw? Welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. What a show we have! And the fucking, it wasn't even fireworks. It was like explosions, man. And the camera was zooming in and out as everybody had a sign. Lasers going. I mean, it was, you felt you were in what it was called, the War Zone. Monday Night Raw is War Zone. I think like Raw is War was like 9 to 10, and then 10 to 11 was like the War Zone, something like that. But I mean, the beginning, before there was a match, before there was a promo cut, before a wrestler even came down, man, it was an electric atmosphere. Now you start the show with Jimmy Smith. At least you can hear him. Adnan Virk you couldn't, but you just start with Jimmy Smith. Hello everyone, welcome to Monday Night Raw. What a show tonight, as we're going to have the 85th matchup between Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. And say, oh my god, how can you be... You're snoozing by the first fucking 5 seconds of the show. That you can't even get excited because you just have Jimmy Smith going, welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. And you gotta have a fucking logo pops up. This week we actually had some fucking pyro back for a season premiere. They actually gave us some pyro. It didn't match the fucking Jimmy Smith voiceover though. Welcome everyone to Monday Night Raw. What a show we have. I'm joined by Corey Graves and Byron Saxton. And over in AEW, as much as I love Jim Ross, man, he's older now with a lot of fucking issues, and he can't deliver that passion and excitement. So we just got, welcome everyone, AEW, it's Wednesday, you know what day that means. It's Wednesday, trying to pay homage to our boy Brody. But the ending is more worse for me. For Jim Ross, at least he brings the most passion at the beginning. Jimmy Smith, no passion to start Raw. Jim Ross, when the show ends on Dynamite, Jim Ross, no matter what it is, even if it's a decent or even good ending, and it needs a really powerful call to fade to black, Jim Ross will just say, thank you everyone for joining us for Dynamite. I'm Jim Ross. This is Excalibur, blah, blah, blah. And good night, everybody. Just business as usual. No! I want Jim Ross going off the air. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Somebody's gotta get help. And we fade to black. No, every single Dynamite, Jim Ross is just status quo. Business as usual. Thank you for joining us, everybody. So long and have a good night. Somebody could be getting beat up in the fucking parking lot by 10 fucking dudes. Needs a powerful call. Good night, everybody. So long till next time. We don't need that. Have a frantic, passionate call. I don't know if he can still do that after 2 hours. Again, we may get the best of Jim Ross at the beginning of the show. Anyway. It's no longer 5 a.m. I think we've been doing this for a good fucking hour. Let me make sure there's no other big stories before I take off, guys, and let you go about your day. Hold on, what do we got? Oh, do I even want to see this? A SmackDown preview for tonight? Oh boy, do I want to see this? Oh, well, look at that. Bill Goldberg has one more match left on his WWE contract. Well, that's fucking awesome. One match too many. And Vince will just sign him to another deal anyway because he wants to fight. That's all he has. He hasn't built any larger-than-life stars for the future. You take fucking Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns out of the equation. And by the way, he literally took Bray Wyatt out of the equation. He released them. That was one of your only two larger-than-life stars. Edge, obviously, but he's at the tail end of his career. So you're stuck with Roman now, bro. We got, hold on. Let me see this. Bray Wyatt. Apparently he responded to a fan that asked him to face Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. A fan asked Windham Rotunda Bray Wyatt to return to WWE and challenge Roman for the Universal Championship at Survivor Series. Rotunda replied with a GIF? Is that a GIF or a GIF? From the 2004 movie Troy, in which Brad Pitt's character, Achilles, poses the question, is there no one else? Oh, that's funny. He's so cryptic on social, man. Is there no one else? I think he just stated what I just told you guys. There was only two fucking larger-than-life characters. Bray and Roman. Bray's gone. It's only Roman left. So I'm sure he probably means several things by that one statement because that's how Bray's mind works. Windham. But I'm sure he also means there ain't nobody else anyway. That's awesome. And, alright, let's do it real quick before we end this, man. A SmackDown preview. Let's do this. Do I want to see this? Oh, man, it's Halloween. We're gonna get a fucking jack-o'-lantern match. A fucking pumpkin patch match. We're gonna win the match. You gotta fucking put your opponent into one of those pumpkin carts. You know, you do a pumpkin hayride. You put them in a pumpkin hayride and you have to circle the ring 3 times and ring a bell. It'll be like an MTV challenge. Mohegan Sun in Pennsylvania, man. That's good. At least if you're attending the show and it really sucks, you can fucking leave, hit the fucking slot machines, get some drinks, try to win in life somewhere else. Or in some other way. What do they got tonight, guys? Featured promos from Blue Brand newcomers Ridge Holland, Aaliyah, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo. And Sheamus. Ooh, they're all going to be in action or in promos. This is going to be great, man. We're also going to see a new ring announcer. Greg Hamilton has parted ways with WWEC. That makes no fucking sense. EC3? I don't know what the fuck. It's been a long fucking bonus vid, guys. He parted ways with WWE, but he also says that it was amicable and there's no hard feelings. He just felt it was time to move on. That sucks. I thought Greg Hamilton was actually good. He fucked up a lot, but he was he's such a good dude, man. He was funny as fuck. Right? BC can have fun, man. Greg Hamilton was fun as shit, man. And I thought he was good, man. I loved his Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns! I'm gonna miss that shit. Remember all the fun he had with Shane McMahon with the best in the world? So I don't know who they're gonna have, man. I haven't gotten word on that yet. I'll do some more research. Who else, man? Is that all I'm not even seeing a fucking main event or nothing. They're just saying there's going to be the new Blue Brand arrivals tonight. So that's how early in the morning it is, guys. Also, a little side note, FS1 is going to air a 2-hour encore presentation of SmackDown tonight, head-to-head with Rampage. So this new thing that Vince is trying out, he's going to keep doing it. He's going head-to-head. He wants Rampage. He sees Rampage doing such low rating numbers that Vince is going in for the kill. He's like a shark. And he's going to try to absolutely put Rampage out or humiliate Tony Khan, AEW, and TNT. So Vince McMahon is going to air another 2-hour encore to take on Rampage. And what happened last week, was it the Friday or was the Saturday show? When Dynamite was on Saturday, I think they aired a SmackDown replay on Fox. And that actually pulled near 650,000 viewers, where Dynamite only pulled 550 live. So Vince sees that this is working, and he's really going to try to keep punching Tony Khan in his face. So Tony's been talking a lot. Vince is trying to put it right back onto where the networks are going to be looking at Tony Khan in a different way. Vince is playing a different game, man. Tony Khan has to be careful. And that's that, man. So anyway, pretty lackluster fucking SmackDown thus far. We'll see what Tony Khan produces for Rampage. I think that was already taped anyway. And I don't know if you guys saw, man. You saw Meltsy Boy. Meltsy Boy actually admitted that at the tapings for Dynamite, I think it was for Rampage, actually. I don't know if it was last week's. Again, I don't read too much into what Meltsy Boy says, but this came across my attention where for Rampage tapings, droves of people ended up taking off before the Rampage tapings were done. There was a Bryan Danielson match to start off, and then after that, people were like, check you. And Tony Khan apparently was like throwing a fit backstage, and he was panicking like, fuck. And he was getting people to try to stop him. Bro, this is from Melty. I don't know, man. The same dude that said people left Alexa and Charlotte's fucking segment. But for him to say something negatively about AEW, oh no. I don't know what the agenda is there by Melty. Maybe he's just saying it like it is, man. Maybe that's exactly the word he got, and he felt like actually saying something that didn't make AEW look good this week. But apparently people are not digging Rampage. Especially when it's taped, they don't want to stick around. It's too much wrestling. You have Elevation and Dark before Dynamite. Then you have Dynamite. Then you have Rampage. There's a such thing in pro wrestling, especially as burnout. That's too much wrestling, Tony. I wasn't very complimentary to Tony Khan in this video, man. That was the first time in a long time. Usually I'm always giving this guy compliments. I don't know. I'm starting to see a lot of cracks in AEW, man. They got to be careful. They're getting too fucking bad. I mean, that bubble, too many people coming in, man. They keep on hiring. And we're starting to see more goofy shit. And I'm not seeing one storyline that really captivates BC. I thought they had so much potential with so many storylines. And then Cody just beat Malachi. I mean, that was a story that I thought had wheels, and then they decided to kind of rush it. Malachi beat Cody. Okay, let Malachi move on. No, Cody comes right back and gets his victory back. And now they're just 50-50 booking the story. Long-term storytelling, PC. Okay, well, I didn't need to see Malachi lose. Cody should not have been the first person to beat Malachi on a fucking Dynamite. Not even in its original time slot. Have some respect for Malachi, man. You had something good going. Starting to see a lot of WWE type shit in this company, man. Told you I'm going to call it down the middle, bro. I ain't going to fuck around, man. Don't care who gets upset anymore, bro. We have to fucking get pro wrestling to be better. And that means as a whole. And with ROH going out of business, it looks like, or at least damn near close, so when it comes back and it's going to be a shell of what it once was, it's admitting that. It's going to be more independently looked upon. You know, with that news, there's no more room for error. You know, wrestling is at its worst right now. We got to bring it back to life, and we're only going to do that if we're fucking honest. This was a very long BC bonus video, bro, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm running so fucking late, but I just don't care. I was enjoying a nice fucking first coffee and shooting the shit with my amp unit, man. So I'm always having fun when I get to do that. I would have gone live, man. I was in the mood to go live, to be honest with you, but at 5 a.m., I would, 5 o'clock in the morning, man. You know, fucking 12 people. Like, be free! Oh, that'd be funny. 5 a.m. live stream. I should do that tomorrow. Smackdown, 7 a.m. live stream. Be there. I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? keep watching the channel, because I might send out a statement saying 7 a.m. live stream, Smackdown, tomorrow live review. All right, we're going a little fucking loopy now, man. We got to go kick the fucking day's ass, the weekend's ass. Smackdown review coming up this weekend. Much love and respect to all my amp unit. Thank you all. Honestly, I mean this, for taking a moment to smash the up or to leave a comment or just fucking watch the fucking video and show some love and appreciation to BC. Trust me, it's right back to you guys, man. Much love and appreciation, respect, right back to you. Salute to all my amp unit members. If you're not an amp unit member, then thanks for being here. I'm not going to salute you, but thank you. Amp unit members, salud. Rockstar status. We'll do this again very soon. Red team, go! Wake up, get and get amplified. Check your leader.